What is up, guys? It is D Chantilly in wrong intro. What is up, guys? It is Marcus from Perspective Sports. And now that we have the right intro, now that they're all pretty much the same, we have a pretty big announcement. Today is the first of a 9-part series where I'll go division by division, giving my predictions, capped off by a playoff prediction, which will be the 9th and final video of this series. And if you're wondering where that other intro came from, I do stream over on Twitch, and I do have a YouTube channel entitled D Chantilly where I talk about gaming and stocks and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, comment section below. But let's get right into this, starting off the series with the AFC East and whether or not there'll be a changing of guards. And when you think AFC East, you probably think Patriots, or at least you should, unless you're a Dolphins, Jets, or Bills fan, and you probably still think the Patriots first. Because the Patriots have won the division the last 11 years in a row and 17 of the last 20 years. And so pretty much my entire lifetime has been New England winning their division. And with the surprising departure of Tom Brady, who left for Tampa Bay, on top of Kyle Van Noy leaving for the rival Miami Dolphins, Jamie Collins leaving for the Detroit Lions, etc., it was looking like the end of the Patriots' dominance. But with the signing of former MVP Cam Newton, the Patriots are now back in that conversation. And they still have a very good defense, led by a great secondary that includes the McCourty twins, Patrick Chung, and Stephon Gilly Suit Gilmore, probably the best corner in the NFL. And so we know the Patriots defense is going to be good. We know they're going to show up. They know they're going to shut down teams. It's going to be the offense. We're going to want to see how that comes together and whether Cam Newton with it, I don't want to say shortened offseason, but not really even abbreviated, an adjusted offseason due to the virus and the outbreak. It's going to be interesting to see how Josh McDaniels brings that offense together with limited time, limited exposure, and things like that. But when you look at Cam Newton's weapons, he has a decent core of weapons. N'Keal Harry, when he played last year, he looked really good. Julian Edelman, you know he's going to show up. And Mohamed Sanu will be very interesting to see how he fits. He'll probably play more of the slot role. Not really sure what they're going to do with him. But Sony Michel, also out of the backfield, really good. I expect him to grow. He's going to get a lot more carries. He's also going to get involved in the pass game. Sony Michel is going to be a very important weapon for this Patriots team. And when you look at the Patriots schedule this year, it's an interesting one. Their first quarter or first 4 games of the season will be home games followed by very tough road games. And so week 1, they'll host the Miami Dolphins. But then they have to travel to play the Seattle Seahawks. Then they get to host the Las Vegas Raiders. And then they travel to play the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. And so you see the trend. They have a home game against a team they should win, followed by a very tough road game that's going to test them early. And when you look at the first half of the first 8 games for the New England Patriots, it's just as rough. They have at Seattle, at Kansas City. Now go ahead and add at Buffalo, and now add versus San Francisco. Yes, it's at home against San Francisco, but San Francisco is probably the most complete roster in the league, has one of the most dynamic and best coaches in the league. So it's not going to be any easy feat to beat the San Francisco 49ers. But then the schedule lightens up on the second half. They still have to host the Baltimore Ravens. They still have to host Buffalo. They still have to play at Houston. And they do have a West Coast trip that could somewhat form a trap game because they have to play the Los Angeles Chargers, but then on Thursday night they have to play the Los Angeles Rams. And so that could be a stumbling point for the Patriots because it's short notice. I mean, not short notice, but a short week. They're still on the West Coast, time zone difference. They still have to adjust to that. I don't know if they'll fly back to New England before flying back out, which takes some time. You have to adjust again. And so that could trip the New England Patriots up. And so when you look at the New England Patriots, it's going to come down to how Cam Newton fits in this offense. And now we have the Buffalo Bills, a team that I absolutely love. I'll just be honest. I love the Buffalo Bills and what they've been able to do. The Bills were much improved last year. They saw a big jump. They went out this year and got even better. They got quarterback Josh Allen, a number 1 receiver, and Stephon Diggs. They brought Josh Norman in to add depth to the cornerback position. And they brought back Jordan Poyer and Levi Wallace. So they focused on bringing back their defense, building their secondary that was already pretty good. And then they went out and got their quarterback a true number 1 receiver. And not to mention Devin Singletary, a very versatile back who's not going to be splitting touches with Frank Gore anymore. And so the Bills' offense is going to be a better offense in my opinion because, number 1, Josh Allen has a true number 1 receiver. Devin Singletary is going to be able to be a bigger part of the offense now that he's not sharing touches with Frank Gore. And so now the Bills' offense consists of Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Devin Singletary, John Brown, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, and Tyler Kroft. That offense is looking pretty good. And we haven't even talked about the Bills' defense yet. And we all know the Bills' defense is one of the best in the NFL. Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. They brought in Josh Norman to help add depth to the secondary. You have Tremaine Edmonds leading over the front seven that includes Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, Mario Addison. This Bills defense is still just as scary as it was last year. The offense is just a whole lot more dangerous. And then when you take a look at the Bills' schedule, they start their season off against two of the easier teams in the division, the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets, which should get them out to a 2-0 start, getting all the new guys in the flow of the motion, getting them comfortable in the offense and the defense and things like that. And then their schedule is still pretty favorable. I mean, they do have to play tough teams, but they'll host Kansas City, they'll host the Seahawks, they'll host the Rams, they'll host the Steelers. They'll host the Patriots and play at the Patriots, obviously. But they only have to travel to play San Francisco and Tennessee, and those are not easy tasks. I'm not saying that's easy. But if I told you had to play Kansas City, Seattle, the Rams, Steelers, Tennessee, and San Francisco, and you get to play 4 of those teams at home, 67% of those teams at home, I'd take that every day of the week. And so the Bills' schedule is pretty favorable given the teams they have to play. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins, and let's go ahead and start this part off. I owe the Dolphins an apology. Last year, not really last year, it hasn't been a whole year, but sometime in 2019, I released a video saying basically the Dolphins were the worst team to ever grace the NFL football field. And I was wrong. And I owe the Dolphins an apology. I'm not above admitting I was wrong. Coach Brian Flores did a great job. He held this team together. They won games, and they were competitive. But they went out this offseason and spared no expense trying to get better. They signed cornerback Byron Jones to put alongside Xavier Howard and rookie Noah Igbenogany. And then they went out and signed Kyle Van Noy away from the rival New England Patriots. And they also had a tremendous draft. I mean, the Dolphins had an amazing draft. They got their quarterback of the future in Tua Tagovailoa. And they went out and built their offensive line, drafting tackles Austin Jackson and Robert Hunt. They also drafted guard Solomon Kinley, all in the first 4 rounds. They also got a steal at defensive tackle in Raekwon Davis as he fell to them in the 2nd round. I didn't expect the Dolphins to win as many football games as they did last year. But they did. But I don't expect them to win a lot of football games this year. But we'll see, because the Dolphins were competitive and Coach Brian Flores has that team in the right mindset trying to win. But I don't think the Dolphins will be spectacular this year. I think they'll be much improved. And going forward, the Dolphins are going to be a team that we actually have to pay attention to. Finally, we have the New York Jets. And they had a decent draft. They drafted offensive tackle Mekhi Becton, a freak of nature, in the 1st round. They drafted wide receiver Denzel Mims in the 2nd round to replace Roby Anderson, who they lost to the Carolina Panthers in free agency. And they also had a really good signing in George Fant, a tackle. I think that'll prove to be a very good signing for the Jets. And so they're trying to build an offensive line for Sam Darnold, who has been sacked 63 times in 26 career games. And they're also trying to get him some sort of receiver help. But I don't think the Jets will be much of anything. I'll just be honest. They don't have an identity, and there's really no sense of direction here. And so when you look at what the Jets have done, they spent a ton of money on Le'Veon Bell, a running back, for him to go out and get 789 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Sam Darnold still doesn't have a go-to receiver. They have a work-in-progress offensive line. And so he's still going to get hit a lot. He's still going to throw a lot of interceptions. And so the Jets are going to need another season, in my opinion, to try to find a sense of direction, because Le'Veon Bell wasn't used nearly as much as I thought he would be. Sam Darnold still doesn't have prime time, not even prime time, really reliable receivers to throw the ball to. He's still going to get hit a bunch of times. The defense is still suspect. And so the Jets, the Jets are just the Jets right now. We're going to have to see what they do going forward before we can really even gauge a sense of direction for them. And so now that we went through every team in the AFC East, it is time for me to reveal my division predictions. And here they are. I'm not sure which side I'm going to put them on, but just in case, both sides. As you can see, the Buffalo Bills are taking the throne from the New England Patriots, going 11-5, 4-2 in the division. The New England Patriots are coming in 2nd place at 10-6, 4-2 in the division. The Miami Dolphins coming in 3rd, 6-10, 2-4 in the division. And the New York Jets coming in at 5-11, 2-4 in the division. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. We'll be back with the NFC East Next.